Hello everyone, it's True Trade and we are back. It's been a while, hope you're all doing well and you've continued to kill it in this market. Today we will do a little breakdown of the 3 favorite things I look at when I'm creating my stock watch list and how these 3 can help you become a better trader. Starting off, the first thing I always look at is the daily trend. Is the trend up? Is it down? Or is it in consolidation? Apple is a pretty nice example of a nice strong uptrend. You can see from here, off those lows, you get a nice up move, some sideways, up, a little more range sideways here, continues to grind up. TDOC is a nice example of a downtrend. We have a lot of sellers right over 300, down move, some consolidation, down move, consolidation, down move, start to see some buyers, but rejects at a previous area, continues back down. Good example of a downtrend. And then we have Disney. Pretty nice consolidation example. Not too much price action apart from shorts at 182, buys at 171. Try to spike it a few times. Not really much else. Good consolidation. You may be asking yourself, why does the daily trend matter? It matters because playing with the trend creates less friction on the trade. For example, if there are a lot of buyers present in a stock with a strong uptrend, but you try to short it, it's likely you get stopped out really quick because the buyers are likely to continue pushing it up. Same thing can be said for the downside. If the trend is strong down, but you try to buy it, it's likely you get stopped out quickly as sellers keep pushing it lower. Think of it like the flow of water. If you found yourself in a strong downward current, would it be easier for you to row up the current or just flow to the downside with the current? It's the same thing with stocks. If the trend is down, it's going to be much easier to play the downside. If the trend is up, it's going to be much easier to play the upside. Of course, you could play the opposite side, but it's much easier to go with the trend, especially as a newer trader. After I figure out the daily trend, I move to step 2, which is seeing where we are in relation to key support, key resistance, or key supply and demand. How people find these key levels can vary, but if done correctly, these key zones should be located across similar areas. And you obviously want to make sure it's done correctly, or this step won't work. I can do a breakdown on how I find my key supply and demand zone in the later video. I want to identify where the stock is in relation to these key zones, is because once I pinpoint these key levels, I have a better idea of what trading strategy I plan to implement with a given ticker. Once these levels are identified, it opens up my whole playbook on what trades I can and cannot take. For example, the trade could be as simple as taking a long trade at support, or a short trade at resistance. Or this strategy can be a little bit more complex, to see if we wanted to take a breakout trade with strength coming into resistance, or maybe even a breakdown trade with weakness coming into support. Going back to our initial examples, we could take a look at Apple and see some of the different trade strategies we could have implemented. Step 1, we identify the trend. It's an uptrend. We can definitely keep buying support, selling resistance, buys off 141, buys off a higher hold at 145. There was resistance at 149 the first few visits, but we could also implement a potential breakout trade once we get into 149 and start seeing higher holds. But would we want to use a breakout trade for something like TDOC? Probably not. The idea of support and resistance still worked out. We get into resistance, sellers step in, support, buyers step in. But what do we want to be looking for an upside breakout trade? You could, theoretically, but knowing that it's a weaker trend stock, we would not be as inclined to play this kind of breakout trade for something like TDOC. But breakdown trades are something that could work for this one. Now that we're done with step 1 and 2, we are on our third and final step for this section. Lastly, I want to check to see if the stock had any fresh news. This one isn't usually as necessary for me, but it could be important when we have a consolidating sideways market with not a lot of movement. If I'm looking to take a day trade, I want to be aware if the company had any news that could change trend or increase volatility for that day. Something like an earnings announcement, miss on numbers, better than expected outlook, or some company specific news like change in management. A great example of how this step could be used with the previous step is present on TDOC. Notice here we had a gap down from 727 to 728. 727 after hours earnings came out. Outlook was better than expected, yet the price gapped down. With that, we know it was good news. We're coming into support and we're at a key level as identified in step 2. We could definitely take a good long trade off support. In this case, boom, 134 off the open. Shortly after, by the end of day, we're up a nice $15+. See how that worked there? Utilizing step 3 and 2, we were able to take a nice green day trade. These are just a few of the steps I use concurrently to help me with my trading decisions, and these are definitely some things you should account for to help you up your trading game. They can be used for any trading style, whether it be a swing trade or day trade. You can just change your time frame to make it fit. Remember, as a trader, our goal isn't to make a million trades every day, but it's to select a few good trade setups every single day and then wait for our numbers and trade setups to be hit to take them. It's always going to be quality over quantity. The more high quality trades we take, the less trades we will have to take in the long run. If you're interested in learning more about the stock market and staying up to date with our daily posts, our free weekly watch list, go check out our Instagram page or subscribe to our email list to get notified as soon as we post or release our weekly watch list blogs. Both are linked down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and enjoy the rest of your day.